Ladies and gentlemen, my name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about two different things, guys. We actually got two different videos coming today. We got this one and another video, and I might even do a live stream later tonight just to kind of talk about a few more things and just kind of get my points out and my opinions and all that about some thoughts I have. And yeah, but for today's video, we have two videos. So in this video, we're going to go over more of like news and stuff like that, like news about the games, when the next information dump is coming, like, you know, next info dump, like some information that's been shown up, like, you know, from different websites, the Chinese website, I think, with like new gameplay that we haven't seen before. Like, it's stuff we've seen, but from different perspectives, you know, and also a little bit of an article that we're going to go through, which also has to do again with kind of the features of Sword and Shield and developers' opinions and all that stuff on that. And then the second video, we're going to go over more of a kind of community feeling from across the world, and not just from the English community and kind of like the community we've seen so far, like also more of the hidden community, what they think like from Japan. So the second video is going to be out later today. Feel free to check that one out. It's going to be a very much longer video because it's going to be a very talkative video. We're going to talk about my opinions and stuff. Also, hopefully the music isn't too loud. I'm going to lower it a little bit. Also, I just want to mention this something. I know this is probably not what you guys care about. I know you guys don't care about it. But actually, I bought the PlayStation 1 Classic for like maybe potentially some videos in the future. The reason I did this was because, dude, I mean, this was my first ever console, the PlayStation 1, like back in the past. So I really just want to own this and probably do some like stuff with this, like make some videos on it. So I might do some stuff on my secondary channel, Ruffled News, which I'm going to be changing the name of something to like something different soon. And I might even do like a voting poll where you guys can choose. Like, I'll make up some different versions of my like name, like Ruffled Gaming or Ruffled blah blah blah, whatever. And then you guys can vote for it, or in the comment section down below right now, suggest names for my secondary gaming channel, where I don't want to call it the gaming channel, but like I'm going to be doing other stuff there. So either way, sorry about that. Let's get back to the actual meat and, you know, bones of this video, which is the news and information. So let's start with that first, guys. So the first thing here is that apparently during Japanese World Hobby Fair, they will be bringing possible new information from the Pokemon Sword and Shield games on June the 29th and the 30th. And here we have also some other info apparently saying that the event will take place at the Makuhari Messe in Chiba, Japan. Early participants will receive a Mewtwo event with good stats for the Let's Go in promotion of the film Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. So that's happening, and we'll barely be getting some information and stuff there. And this is also posted by Cerebeast, who says that, you know, it's not confirmed if there will be brand new information or old information. But do remember that there was a leak that actually kind of ended up being somewhat correct. That actually, you know, predicted there was going to be a Sword and Shield like thing happening on like there was going to be a Sword and Shield Pokemon Direct happening on like June the 5th or whatever. There was a thing that came out ahead of time, like a little bit of a leak, I guess now, which we can call it, which actually confirmed that something like what's big was what's going to happen around the 29th of June. And apparently this is on, I guess, June the 29th. So if this is the same thing, I don't know. Do remember we still are waiting for Korokoro to leak. We don't know what's in Korokoro just yet, so we're waiting for that as well, guys, and there's a potential it could be something there. So I don't know, but at least we know now that the next information dump could happen. It's not guaranteed, it's not confirmed, but the next info dump could happen on the 29th and 30th of June this year, which is literally like a few days away. It's the end of the month, guys. It's the end of the month. So we're halfway through the month right now, and this is towards the end of the month. So at least you have like a little bit of like, you know, kind of, for those who do still care about Sword and Shield, because I know a lot of people have literally written off Sword and Shield already, which is understandable. Like, trust me, I fully get it, man, and I'm fully okay with people writing this game off. I feel like this is one of those times where I won't like, I wouldn't judge, and I don't think anybody should judge people for writing off the game or attacking them if they're saying that they don't like the game, the choices that like Game Freak are making. I feel like it should just be one of those things where, you know what, man, hey, if you don't want the game, that's fully understandable, and I fully understand why you don't want the game, and I fully respect your opinion on that. You know, as long as we don't like have to attack each other and get mad at each other, I think the going down the respectable route and just kind of giving, you know, each other a mutual respect is the best way to go about the situation. Respect those who don't appreciate what Game Freak is doing and are critical of Game Freak and also are frustrated and angry. I can understand it, as well as I am somewhat still, but I do want to like still, as a content creator, give this game a chance, because I even did it with Let's Go. I still gave Let's Go a chance, still played it, felt that it was a pretty meager and uninteresting game. And after that experience, I told people, don't buy this game, because I told people ahead of time, let me review it. And I'll say the same thing right now. If you don't know about this game and you don't feel certain about it, watch me play through it, watch my review of it when it comes out, or other people's, not just mine. Watch other people's reviews as well, so you get a bit of a more informed opinion, so you know from other people like what they feel like. But do watch that, watch those like other things, and get yourself an informed opinion once the game comes out, and then make your choice. So that's probably the best we can go about all this, so that you get like everything perfectly kind of balanced, and you get a balanced set of opinions, and not just like people who are pandering to one side or the other. Either people pandering towards being angry or about the games and hating them, or people pandering towards loving them and just like giving them an instant pass without like being critical at all. So make sure to get an informed opinion from like kind of the middle ground, where you can kind of see like things from both perspectives, and then decide okay, like this game clearly isn't for me because they really didn't do the things that I wanted them to do, so I'm boycotting this game and I'm not buying it because they really made a lot of mistakes, and I don't want Pokemon to continue being like this. Or if the game ends up being in your liking and you're like, okay, I mean these things ended up maybe not being as big of a deal, you know what, fair enough, I will buy the game. It looks like it could be fun, I'm gonna go for it. Then whatever ends up happening once we get to the game release, or along the way, man, because honestly we don't even know everything yet. We only got a tiny bit of information out of a big chunk of stuff to come, you know what I mean? So either way, next thing here, guys. So next info here is that there are 2 new images of Pokemon Sword and Shield that recently appeared and confirms Noibat in the games, and the other one shows the code of a Pokemon Dynamax, or a code. I guess he means the cone. So right here, there's a picture here of the Dragon City, which you guys know of, which is in Sword and Shield, the big Dragon City and all that. And outside here, there's a man with his child, I think. I might be wrong about that, but there's a man and his child, and there's a Noibat right in between them. There's a Noibat. It's really hard to see, but somebody down here actually like circled it in right there. So if anybody is curious, you see the little circle down there, that's where it is. Sorry for not being able to open the image like in much larger. Here's like the largest I can probably get it for now. I can probably zoom this in, but that'll probably mess up my my thing imaging here. So there you go. That's like Noibat, I guess. I'm not sure if it is Noibat though, but like I think a lot of people have said that it is Noibat, so I guess we're gonna go with that assumption. And then also there's this as well, like this little just like thing being Dynamaxed. And people are saying like this character in the back here. People keep asking me like, is that a new Pokemon? Is that a new Pokemon? Is that a new Pokemon? So many times, even before like we got the big news about the Pokedex and shit. But people kept asking me like, this character. No, guys, this is just a mascot. This is just like a battle mascot. You see he's knocked out or whatever. Like it's just a mascot, right? It's not an actual character. It's just like a mascot for these battles, because remember, this is meant to be, these new gym battles are meant to be like a sporting event for the people of Galar. They're meant to be like a big sport, like super popular sport, and in sports you have mascots to represent different things, right, or different teams, etc. So this is like a sports mascot for them. So yeah, just keep that in mind, because a lot of people get that stuff kind of a little bit mixed up. And also here they say, in fact, the back screen is the stadium mascot, reflecting what happens in combat. Exactly, yeah, the mascot in the back essentially reflects what's going on. So I guess up here he's knocked out. I guess somebody's got confusion here. I'm not sure what this is. I guess, is this something Dynamax, or is this a Pokemon being sent back because it could have fainted? Here you can see, like, I guess, Victory. No, this is Victory. Okay, this is Victory. And here you can see Dynamaxing happening. Like, you can see, like, the little man's getting all Dynamaxed, happy, and all that shit. So, yeah. Pretty straightforward. So those are the new images that have been shown. It's like really minuscule stuff, not that much to really look into. But yeah, that's the stuff that we got there. But now next up is the article, and here's where things are gonna get a little bit more intense, to say the least. So apparently, this is from GameRant.com, who made an article here saying that the Pokemon devs hope expectations aren't too high for a Switch debut. So here's what they basically say. When Game Freak took time during Nintendo's E3 2017 press conference, this was posted 2 years ago, by the way, E3 press conference, to reveal that the Pokemon RPG is in development for Switch, fans of the role-playing game franchise were ecstatic, as it meant that the long-standing demand for a core entry in the franchise to be playable on a console was finally being addressed. However, while fans' excitement for the forthcoming release is understandable, to say the least, Game Freak's series director, producer, and composer Junichi Masuda and director Shigeru Omori hope players' expectations aren't too high. So Masuda and Omori revealed as much during a recent video interview with Game Informer, with Masuda mentioning that while he totally gets why fans are anxious for the Pokemon Switch titles, he also hopes fans are able to temper their excitement somewhat. In a follow-up response to Omori's statement saying that Game Freak will do its best to create a great game to meet certain expectations, Masuda said, "Of course, it is very difficult to make the game, so I hope people don't get their expectations up too high." While Masuda Nomori wants to do right by fans and Game Freak alike by not disappointing them with the Pokemon Switch titles, it's going to be hard for many hardcore fans to reduce their anticipation for the forthcoming RPG, especially since Nintendo has already given out the release window of sorts for the game. On the other hand, while little else goes on, other than the knowledge that the main entry in the franchise will be coming to consoles, perhaps most everyone will be able to contain their fantasism, while at the least until a gameplay trailer is shown, which is fair enough. And here you go on about a few other things about the Switch title, and yeah, but here's the big thing, right? Some people are using this as an argument to say that, you know, you shouldn't have been excited to begin with. You shouldn't have been excited. They told you not to be excited about the stuff. Well, here's the thing. Like, this just makes no sense. Like, this shouldn't be a excuse to use to let the games pass by. Okay, listen. I'm going to be frank, Pokemon is in a weird position to begin with, okay? The developers in Game Freak are in a weird position, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass, but also I'm going to shut them down in a second here. So let me start with this, right? So to begin with, they have to keep a strict schedule at Game Freak, right? So they're getting pressure to get the games out every single year. Every single year there's meant to be a brand new game, whether that be a remake, a new generation, or like a follow-up game, or whatever it may be. They're meant to always keep working on shit all the time. So they're constantly working on something. There's never really any off time for them where they aren't working on something. There's something in their, you know, in their to-do list. There's always something happening, right? There's always something happening, which is understandable. They got to get games out all the time. It's understandable. But here's where the problem comes in, though, which is that, you know, they can't get games done in certain times, and you know what I mean, and get them exactly perfect, which is understandable. Like X and Y was considered by people a good game, but that was also because it was the first 3D game we ever had, so our expectations were kind of like, you know, low for what the 3D was meant to look like. So, and if you look back at X and Y right now and compare it to, like, well, any other like 3D game, like, you know, you could think of, it doesn't look that great, does it? You know, and even if you compare it to like Sun and Moon, it doesn't look that great. You know, Sun and Moon looks 10 times better, and even Sun and Moon looks inferior as hell compared to other games, but that's of course with the limitations of the 3DS. But either way, so Pokemon, you know, developers over there, Game Freak, they got to keep in mind that they have to develop the games alongside the releases of the TCG, right? The TCG, the merchandise, right? And also to coincide with the anime. Because the anime is a big important part of Pokemon. It's a big money maker as well, because it has a lot of influence on the toy market and shit there and all that stuff, and it's very important for them, right? That side of Pokemon is very important for them as well. They make a lot of money from that. Like, you know, you got to remember that some parts of, like, you know, the community mainly look at like the anime, and only, like, you know, like there's YouTubers who just cover the anime of Pokemon who love that side of it, you know what I mean, and only care for that, and there's a huge audience for it in Japan. Children love the Pokemon anime. It's you know, it's very much catered for them, and they love that. So you got to remember that all these things got to coincide, right? They got to coincide. And you might make the argument, and I'm going to try to like play the ball here a little bit back and forth, just so I don't give like too much to one side or too much to another side. But like, you know, you can make the argument, some people will make the argument like, oh, but you know, maybe you just screw the anime, like just put the anime, you know, I mean, at a later time, or, you know, just delay it, you know, just delay it. But here's the thing though, it's very hard to delay it or to put it at a different time frame, because then people will be angry like, oh, where is the anime? Why am I sitting here waiting for the anime, but they haven't, you know, released it yet? And, you know, some of you guys might be like, but I don't care about the anime, I just care about the games. True, but they gotta match it all up to make it all work, right? They gotta make all that shit work, which is understandably gonna be a hard thing to do. And, you know, then you can make the argument, okay, you know, like the people who are defending Sword and Shield might make the argument, okay, well, that's the thing, you see? You just answer your own question, Ruffled. See, that's the thing. That's why we understand. That's why we understand that Game Freak can't. They can't put all the Pokemon in the game. It takes too much time. They can't make the game look like Breath of the Wild, because they don't have enough time. The game still looks good. They can't achieve that perfect level quality. They can't add all the Pokemon. They can't add all these extra features and things, because they don't have enough time. But here's where I come in and say one thing. If they don't have enough time, and they got too many people, you know, too many, you know, like employees being tired or burnt out by working, and not enough of a time frame, and they've got to make it in a short time frame, then why are they spending their time putting their A-team, their project leading, like their A-team, their good developers, their most experienced developers, why are they putting those developers to work on brand new IPs that are untested and potentially going to fail, like Town, which we don't know shit about yet? They literally announced it last year, showed some gameplay, and they haven't talked about it at all. They literally have not mentioned a single word about it, right? Why are we putting our main guys over there on those things, you know, Town and other brand new IPs, while you're leaving your main franchise, who is the reason you are a famous company and a company that does make any money at all. The reason, you know, you have what you have today is because Pokemon. Why are you putting your B team, your lesser group of developers, you know what I mean, your I guess newer or less experienced ones, to work on their own with the leadership of, I guess, you know, Shigeru Mori and Masuda, as well as like some, you know, designers and stuff to make Pokemon? Why are you putting them in charge of making your main franchise? You know what I mean? Like, I get that, you know, you want to transition them into the position, but if you're trying to keep up with a crunch period and trying to like make things work properly, shouldn't you make sure? And maybe maybe they have done this, maybe we don't know it yet, but I'm going with my assumption based on what I've seen, you know. But why wouldn't you take developers from your projects, you know, other projects over here, and move them over to Pokemon and just use all of your studio to get this game out first, this Pokemon game out first, so you can like get that out of the way? That's like, you know, just a big, you know, burden on you, and then let the B team work on remakes and stuff for the next 2 years, right? And then like have like a subsection working on the next generation slowly in the background. Why would you need to like have the B team working specifically on this, and, you know, I guess the A team, which is your main developers, working on other stuff? Like, I mean, again, we don't know the internals, but I do know that we do know for a fact though that the A team isn't working on Pokemon. They are not working on the Pokemon games. The B team though, I don't know how big it is. I don't know how much they're working on, or specifically, or what specifically they're working on, but they're clearly, you know, either understaffed or something. So clearly you got to bring some people over from Project A, guys, or you know, Project B, Project Team A. We got to bring some people over to the other side, because you can't just leave them on the projects over here that aren't as important, and then leave your main thing over here just kind of empty. So I will probably you know, personally say that I think they really should like reconsider how they're balancing their situations right here. They should really push over people to the other side, you know what I mean, and like get the Pokemon thing sorted, and not give us excuses for, you know, not being excited or blah blah blah, whatever it may be. Like, actually put people on that thing to make sure shit works well. And also, now we officially know something, guys. They started development on Sword and Shield as soon as Sun and Moon came out. Guess when this article was posted? 2 years ago. That was in 2017. Okay, 2017. This was posted. That was literally like half a month after Sun and Moon came out. Right, that's like half a year after Sun and Moon came out. Not half a month, sorry. That's half a year after Sun and Moon came out. That means that was 6 months into development, and already then they didn't even have enough confidence in their own game that they had to tell people to not be excited for it. This is not good. This should not be used as an excuse. Listen, I love Pokemon, I love Game Freak, but fuck me, this is not a good excuse to use. This is an excuse. This is people using this as an excuse for them. People are saying that this we should have listened. They said to not be excited. That doesn't matter. We shouldn't need to like fucking have these excuses. You shouldn't need to tell me to not be excited for a franchise I love. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That's like if like Cyberpunk 2077, the guys over at like, you know, at like CD Projekt Red came and told me, don't be excited about Cyberpunk. Lower your expectations. Lower your expectations. You know, this game that, you know, the thing that you're expecting on this brand new, like, thing, that this new machine that you're excited to play it on. Don't be excited. Stop being excited. Why are you excited? Don't be excited. Don't do that. Lower your expectations. Don't expect too much. It's like, what? That makes no sense. I mean, sure, is there overhyping something? Yeah, there is when you're shown something and it gets overhyped to you. That's fair. Like me being overhyped for Sun and Moon. Oh, sorry, Sword and Shield, not Sun and Moon. For Sword and Shield, when I first saw it, because I was like, holy shit, we're getting an open world area. We're potentially getting a 3D, third person, you know, 3D camera. Like, this is going to be fantastic. I was excited. But then as we started getting more and more info, the cracks started to show, and the Pokédex thing popped up. And then you know, the hype bursts. The hype bubble bursts, and you're sitting there kind of like contemplating, what happens now? Where do we go from here? Right? What happens next? And that's where we are right now, guys. Where I don't know how to feel about this. I honestly, and I'm not doing this as a way to just stay in the middle and just kind of like avoid either side of the argument. Because here's the thing. I am pissed off about them, like, just casually yoinking half the Pokemon out of the game, and then people using excuses like this, that we should have had lower expectations, which makes no sense at all to me. Why this should be used as an excuse at all? Because like, they should be making a game that doesn't need to reach our expectations, because you can never reach our expectations, but you should need to tell us that. You should just work as well as you can and put as much time and effort as you can into it to make sure it's 100% good. And when you're showing us gameplay of it and stuff like that, which, by the way, sure, it's early gameplay, it shouldn't be showing cracks, and you shouldn't need to remove features every time, because this is the problem with Pokemon. I'm going to use this as my final kind of a message here, okay? Pokemon has had a problem for the last half a decade. Actually, no, yeah, no, for almost more than half a decade now. Ever since X and Y, we've had a big problem. And what is that problem, you may ask? Well, the problem is that we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. What do I mean by this? Well, Pokemon introduces features we like, right? They introduce features in the past games that we like. Then in the next generation game, we want to see those features again, and they remove them, and they use bullshit excuses. Let me give you an example right here, right? They give us following Pokemon. When we asked them, like in, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, when we asked them then after that, like, why aren't there any following Pokemon in, Black and White? Oh, that was a feature just for those games. Specifically for those games. And we went, alright, okay, fair enough. Same thing now, right? We get following Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Last year, we saw that, and then at the end of the year, when Let's Go it already came out, and we were excited for Gen 8, and people said, like, it's guaranteed we're gonna get following Pokemon in Sword and Shield, Generation 8, before we knew Sword and Shield was a thing. I remember saying, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're gonna use the excuse, that's a feature for Let's Go. That's a feature that's unique to that game, and only works in that game, which is not true. But they'll use that argument. And they do that all the time. They say that features are exclusively good for one game unless they can reuse those features when it fits them, and not when it fits ever us. Only when it fits their situation. You know what I mean? They'll use it. So that's where I'm a little bit frustrated, because I feel like there's so many features that I love in Pokemon that never get included. There's been a lackluster post-game in the last few games. I mean, honestly, it's getting like, I think Ultra Sun and Moon was had a decent and really fun post-game with the Ultra Wormholes, but even that was kind of limited. That had a fun post-game. Let's Go had no post-game. I don't care what anybody says. That game was awful in terms of post-game, at least. Like, sure, the journey itself was okay in terms of a remake, but man, it had no other features in it. It was just a very, very lackluster experience beyond like the first initial journey, which in itself I was kind of tired of because I've done Kanto a million times. So like that in itself was just kind of like meh. And honestly, I hope that like they don't now use the wild area, which shouldn't need to be considered a feature. It should just like it's like a brand new thing. Sure, okay. You know what? Just for the sake of clarity, let's call it a feature, right? Let's call the open world area a feature. Now, I'm worried they're going to use the open world areas or the rotatable camera or these things, right, to remove other features. Like, for example, I'm certain we're not going to see following Pokemon. And I already made excuses for them for why they might not do it. I said maybe, hey, there's limitations to the console maybe for them to run that. You know what I mean? Having your model rendered and moving around in synchronicity with another model might be too much for the console to handle, potentially. I don't know. But then I realized, wait a minute, no, because that already exists in like Xenoblade and stuff with more characters running around on the screen. So that isn't really much of a viable, argument. But then I also thought, but maybe in terms of development, where they were making the game, maybe just considering Game Freak aren't really the best people when it comes down to getting using every kind of like nook and cranny to make sure a game perform as good as possible. Sometimes they'll make mistakes, because like right now what we've seen is that the rendering distance in Sword and Shield is horrible because characters pop up, NPCs like pop into the screen and stuff. That sort of stuff exists in that game, and that makes me like worried. And that pretty much confirmed my thought that maybe there just would be too much lag if they had another Pokemon following you. But now it feels more like they just didn't want to do it because, oh boy, it will be too much work to do it, so let's not do it, let's just do other stuff, which gets me worried. That is the open world area going to be the only thing in terms of post game? Is that going to be all we're going to do? Just go there and catch like what 300 400 of the Pokemon that are on the Galar Pokedex, and that's it? Will there be anything similar to the Battle Frontier? I know some people hate the Battle Frontier, but guess what? I love it, and I want it to return. We didn't get it in Oras, which was a game that should have had it. They had the excuse of, oh, whoop-de-doo, we didn't think it fit the game. Whoop-de-doo. Didn't do it. So where is it? Why do we always move a step forward, but then like 2 steps back? You know what I mean? So now, sure, now we get these things, but they remove Megas and Z moves. Sure, I didn't like Z moves, but I love Megas. Now they're not around anymore, so they give us Dynamaxing, which to me is just kind of like, cool, we're making Pokemon huge. Which, yeah, sure, it can be funny in some aspect, but I don't know if, I've already said it since I saw it the first time, I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy it more than like, an hour of gameplay. And after that, I think I'm going to be bored of it. And I think the most fun I'll get out of it is doing max raids with viewers, and that's it. And that's mainly going to be fun for me as a viewer, because I'll be able to play with my viewers, right? Oh, sorry, as a content creator, like, you know what I mean, to play with my viewers. That's like the only way I can see that being kind of like something that I personally would, you know, see enjoyable in that, was just to be like something to play with you guys. But beyond that, I don't see any purpose in it. And I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, we haven't seen enough other features. They haven't mentioned any other features. Like, is there much else in this? Is Gigantamaxing even going to be real? I do think so, because the leak was correct so far. So I hope Gigantamaxing is going to come out and be a thing, because at least that will replace kind of Megas in a certain way. Not really, but somewhat, because then we'll have, like, Gigantamaxing as a way to kind of, like, get Pokemon in different, like, you know, new, like, versions of them, you know what I mean? Where they will look slightly different. So at least they'll be kind of that. But, man, I'm worried, dude. Like, I'm genuinely worried about what's to come, because honestly, Game Freak haven't made me feel too great about things in the last while. They've made a lot of mistakes, and they keep making this mistake of taking a few steps forward, one step forward, and then 2 steps back. They give us a feature, but they remove 2 other features, and that's the thing, right? Because, like, for every feature that's added into this game, there's another feature that's been removed. Or not 1 removed, but 2 removed. You know what I mean? For every new thing, we lose 2 other things. And that's what worries me about, like, the future of Pokemon. Is this what's going to keep happening? The games are going to get dumber and dumber in terms of, like, you know, difficulty, and we're going to get more and more features removed where the games are dumbed down. And when I see, like, say dumber and dumber and, like, easier and easier, I mean, like, where all the other stuff around the game is removed, and all that exists is this kind of, like, plain journey in a way, which is what Let's Go was to me. You know, Let's Go was just, oh, cool, we have these, you know, I mean, like, if you look at Let's Go, right, sure, we had following Pokemon and the ability to, like, fly on Pokemon, and then, like, you know, the throwing Pokeballs and stuff. But what do we lose, though? And Pokemon the Overworld as well, right? But what did we lose, though? We lost wild battles, which meant that, you know, now the only way to, like, level up was to catch Pokemon, which to me was kind of boring, because I wanted the fight. I wanted to, you know, I wanted the journey where it was me versus the Pokemon, and that was, you know, the fun of it. It's like, you know, I gotta earn the right to catch this Pokemon. That didn't exist anymore in that game. So I'm just curious, honestly, where they're gonna go and what they're gonna remove next. And that's the thing in Let's Go, right? Sure, they added a bunch of these other things, but guess what? A bunch of other stuff was removed. The wild battles, the removal of, like, you know, any sort of, like, post-game. There's literally no post-game. You know, it's just nothing there, you know what I mean, to do. I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I really hope that this doesn't mean, and that's what I'm worried about the most, man, the removal of other features. That's what worries me the most. I just hope we do not lose any other features. I do hope we keep some features, man. Like, you know what I mean, and we get some brand new and good ones. Not ones that, like, you know, just replace two old ones, but rather new ones that can, you know, more new ones that replace maybe a singular old one, right? Because now we've had Dynamaxing remove Megas and Z moves. Think about it, right? Dynamaxing's now taken over for Megas and Z moves. Those are 2 different features that have been removed already. Yoinked, and what do we get? We get Dynamaxing. So that's 2 features gone for 1, right? That's only one example. Who knows what else could be in the games, right? We have the open world wild area now, but what's that open world wild area? What's that gonna make you know, be removed from previous entries? What's going to be removed from previous entries to replace, you know, for this thing's existence? I'm really wondering. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. I hope I didn't come off as too negative for Sword and Shield, man. I still want these, like, listen, as a Pokemon YouTuber and as a content creator, Pokemon success is my success. If Pokemon does well and people love Pokemon, I do great and people love my videos, because then they'll get more of Pokemon. And that, like, for me, is the most important thing, is that Pokemon is doing great and is in a good position. Right now it isn't. Right now it's in a worrying position where it's very unstable. So I hope you guys understand that I do not wish ill will towards the developers. I freaking love those guys, because they made so many Pokemon games that I've loved. They were still the people involved with making Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White 2, even X and Y, and even ORAS to some extent. Guess what as well? They made Fire Red Leaf Green. They made Ruby Sapphire Emerald. They made so many great Gold Silver. They made so many great games. You know what I mean? So many great games. So I still love these guys over there, and I love what they do and what they create. But man, I hope they can fix some of this current, like, you know, issue that's existing, which is, I guess, with crunch time and just kind of making everything fit together. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, thank you so much, and sorry for this being a video being almost half an hour long. I do apologize. Have yourselves a great day, though, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you all the next time. Peace out.